Today I want to talk about something that I know, is really on your mind and important to you. If you're someone who wants to feel gracefully unleashed, who wants to actually feel like all of yourself, who wants to run your life from the best of you, not the worst of you, not the part of you that plods through life, not the part of you that resists what you say you want. So, most people interpret resistance to what they say they want as a personal flaw instead of what it really is, a powerful form of self protection and deep inner guidance that hurts like a flaw but must be addressed so you can flourish. By the way, hi there. Let me say that again. It's super important. So we're talking about resistance to what you say you want, to what you want with your whole heart. And yet you find yourself doing all these things that aren't in the direction of going where you want to go, where you say you want to go. So most people interpret this kind of resistance as a personal flaw. Something's wrong with them instead of what it really is, a powerful form of self protection and deep inner guidance that hurts. Like it's a flaw, but it must be addressed so you can flourish. So we say we want something and then we go in the exact opposite direction. Or something we say we want feels like too much and we don't do it. Or we push ourselves to the breaking point, and then what we said we wanted becomes like an albatross around our neck. It just drags, we just drag around carrying this thing that we say we want, and it just feels awful to try to get there. So all the pleasure and achievement that we want to feel, it's missing. And please hear me. This is what human beings do all the time, every day, across the world. And I'm calling this resistance to what you say you want. It doesn't seem logical at all. It's not your enemy, but it feels like it is. It feels like you have to fight yourself. This is part of the problem. So, eating at night when you've been good all day, or hiring that world class coach and applying what she says, but with so much stress and anxiety that you wonder why you are even in your business. And then that horrible, horrible inner talk. What's wrong with me? Why aren't I doing this? What's the matter? Why am I like this? Why don't I feel better when I already have so much of what I want? I'm so lucky. I'm so fortunate. What's wrong with me then? Why don't I feel better? And the kicker, which hurts so many of us, how much more can I expect of myself before I break? Now, the moment before you feel this resistance is actually the gift. This is why it's not a flaw and a flaw, and this is why I really pay attention here, because you probably haven't heard this before in this exact way, and it can open doors for you. So when we resist what we say we want, there's a feeling that comes over us. It's tight, it's very familiar, it feels like we want, but we don't want, this is important, but we can't do it. There's all kinds of conflict in the self, and we get all wrapped up in those feelings of conflict, those feelings of tension inside ourselves, and then we do the resisting. We don't do the thing. We don't eat healthy. We don't exercise. We don't do that extra step in our business when we're already so successful. How come we're not going to do this extra step? Or we do it with such angst and even anger and exhaustion. It's not the way to run a life, right? But that's the only way we feel like we can get through it. Right before that pushing or that collapsing, something deep inside of you is being trapped. And it's actually who you're looking for. But the intensity of our reaction and our resistance makes it almost impossible to feel this part of ourselves that's trying so hard to emerge. I have seen it with with every client where I've worked with this process, who I've worked with this process with, and myself. I have seen this happen over and over again. So I know it's part of the human condition that who you're looking for, that part of yourself that you hope, wish, are not even sure is still there, is wanting so hard to emerge, but it's flitting. It's really fast. She's there, but the intensity of our reaction to ourselves covers it up. And so, in this self, this kernel that's wanting to reemerge, that's been there since you were born, that has shown itself many times, possibly long ago, but still many times, is at the worst moment where you're feeling so mad at yourself because you didn't do it again, or because when you're pushing so hard and yet it's not working, or you're berating yourself because you still haven't cleaned the closet. That part, if you slow down, really, really, really slow down, is talking to you. Not just whispering, although it may feel like a whisper, sometimes screaming, but she's there. So she, she's not gone. That part of you that you're looking for, it has not disappeared, hasn't died, isn't buried so deep you can't find her. She's there in those moments of resistance. And this is really clear, like in something when we're reaching for sugar and we really want to eat healthy, for example. Or, or, but let's say I'll just use a quick example that one of you here actually knows from myself just this past weekend. So I was wanting to clean a closet that has been bugs me every time I walk in there. And yet it's on my list, but I never feel like getting to it. And so I used one of the processes that I do called idetics. And I noticed that as I was moving these heavy, bulky things out of the way so I could put things away, which is exactly why I didn't want to do this on a little step ladder, I realized that my mind was grumpy and growling and stuff. And so I used this process that I use where that brings up our resources. And I started feeling like a kind of softly deep pleasure and beauty in my own movements, in my arms putting these, and my hands, the way they were putting these boxes away. And every time my mind started getting grumpy again, because that's what happens, oh, I don't want to do this, I would use this process that I'm talking about with you today, and I could feel it transform me. I could feel it transform how my attitude about what I was doing. And of course, you all know this. What I actually did, which had been bugging me for so long, it took me about 10 minutes, whereas the amount of energy I'd spent fighting against it, I'm sure I'd been doing it for months. I know I've been doing it for months. But everybody knows that. Everybody knows just do it. But how does that help us? It doesn't help us because people don't just do things. And why are we not just doing things? For the reason that I'm talking about with you today. Because there's something underneath your resistance, a big, big part of you that you're looking for that's trying to come through. And when you just, okay, I'll do it, which half the time you can't get yourself to do anyway, it it falls flat. Maybe yes, you get it done and you feel good about it, but you miss, like for example, what was emerging in me was I felt beautiful and soft and lovely as I'm putting boxes away in my closet. It's just crazy, but this is how this is the depth of what can emerge in us when we really, really let it. And so you might want to think about, like, what are some of the ways that you're resisting what you say you want? And next time you resist, this is a beginning step, a baby step. Just spend a moment or two feeling into what else is in you at that very moment. Is there anything else in you, any other desire? It'll be very quick and very quiet, but if you're real quiet, you might get a glimpse, and that's very helpful. Thank you so much for coming. I love that you are here. Let me know. Let me know in the comments what you got, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.